What's going on? How you doing? So this past week marked the 400th anniversary, sad to say, of slavery coming to America in Virginia, Jamestown. And I used to live in Hampton, so I know firsthand the history. It's very haunting in certain areas that you go to. And how do the remembrance and people talk about it? Well, you start with reparations and you start with a better community. But then they had the nerve to have some old racist hack like Newt Gingrich on Fox News, well, Dummies of Us Network. And he was trying to connect with the Civil War and everything and say no one applaud slavery and everything, but the however. But there is no however. 400 years, 1619 to now, still is haunting, still bias, still bigotry, still divisive, Jim Crow, white privilege, you name it. And so there is no happy medium or in between. When you see self destruction, when you see guns, drugs, and other industries and institutions that are profiting off of the misery and disadvantage of African Americans, there is no, there's none to celebrate. When you say 40 years, people don't even understand that the fabric and constitution that was built in America by African Americans was free labor and against their will. All the laws that are put in context were legalized to do whatever you want. Property sold left and right, men, women, children. Property in America. 3/5 human beings, 13th Amendment, look it up. History in its classes are not going to teach you about that. They're not even going to really be specific about how the balance of using African exports from here, from England to Europe, all over, because African blood is everywhere, you know. And it's funny. Growing up, I spent a lot of time in, obviously spent a lot of time in Newport News. I lived in Hampton, but to think that they had a Nat Turner street when he rightfully so revolted against the slave master and had to do what he had to do. So if you acknowledge that, then you have to acknowledge reparations. You have to acknowledge a form of balance, a form of, you know, because it's a very painful reminder. What would our ancestors think of today? Because our ancestors always follow through with our souls. And though they're not here directly in the flesh, they're in our soul and our spirit. What would they say? Wonder how they would feel that at a particular time they were more prosperous and more in unity than there is today with the black dollar and black business. What would they say about a country that has somebody like Trump around and reminiscent of being a slave master? What would they say? What would they say about the fact that still second class citizenship, pardon me, where African Americans still have to go through driving while black, walking while black, being while black, while people are using high tech lynchings with social media to call the police at any whim. And there's no law against that just because of the color of your skin. What would they say about that? What their ancestors say about the lack of bank loans, the Section 8 poverty, etc., and how America allows a segment to be segregated from a cleanliness just with debris, and how the divisive that is to the mindset of a young mind to an older mind. What would they say about that? So there's things to enlighten about this, and there's a long ways to go. 1619 to 2019, 400 years, a lot of pain, a lot of tears, a lot of struggle, and still battling and still fighting every day because it ain't over. It ain't over. And oppression, segregation, racism, all that is real. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to hear no cornball like Newt Gingrich spew on something that he can't possibly relate to, because you can open your eyes and see the imbalance. And it's been very divisive in this country. So that's my take about the 400 years from 1619 to Virginia to where we are in being in America, and what is going on and how it's still unchanged in so many levels. Feel free to give me your thoughts, your takes, your comments. Hit the subscribe when the bell rings. It's a new video. You have a good day. Stay woke.